asking the question to the XtremeAg guys, what are you changing in 2025 and why are you doing it? That's what we're covering with Sam Coutu, Sam of the North, in this episode of XtremeAg's Cutting the Curve.
Welcome to XtremeAg's Cutting the Curve podcast, where real farmers share real insights and real results to help you improve your farming operation. And now, here's your host, Damian Mason.
Hey there, welcome to another fantastic episode of XtremeAg's Cutting the Curve. I got Sam Coutu. He is Sam of the North. He is our friend in Quebec, does some trials up there. It might even have a field day in 2025. We're excited about that because I've not been to his farm. Sam has been on a number of times, kind of a cool thing. Quebec is a great big province, but only about 2% of it, isn't that right? That's actually an agricultural land?
Yep. Only 2%.
And Sam happens to farm within that 2%. He is our friend from the North, and we got to ask him, what are you changing in 2025 and why? So you're going to do some different stuff on your farm. By the way, real quickly, if you don't remember, Sam, you farm almost a couple thousand acres. Tell us about your farm.
I'm farming corn, beans, and some wheat on approximately 2,500 acres.
And people think, oh, wait a minute, because remember, a lot of Americans think when you get to Canada, it's like permanent snow and tundra and all that. That's not the case. You're actually not that far north. You're pretty close to the southern border of Quebec, right?
Yeah, we're about 2 hours from New York State borders.
Got it. What are you going to change in 2025, and why are you doing it?
So this year I'm gonna go with 2 passes of wide drop. So I'm gonna change my fertility a little bit. So I'm gonna go more in season than up front. So it will be easier to adjust to the season. By doing that, I'm also planning on cutting like 15% of my nitrogen needs.
Okay, so you're talking about on corn.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to do 2 wide drop applications, and this is for fertility.
Yes.
What did you do last year, and why are you deciding to change it this year?
So last year was the first year I had my wide drop. I received them late in season, early July. So I had the opportunity to only do 1 pass. And from what I've seen in 24, I'm going to tweak a little bit my fertility. I will put a little bit less on the planter. So I'll be able to cover more acres with the load on the planter. So I will be more efficient. And I will come a little bit sooner with the 4 or 5 leaf with the first pass of wide drop. And then I will come back early July with the second pass about 14 days before tasseling.
This fertility change that you're making, or it's really an application, is it going to allow you, you said you're going to cut back on then the spend on fertility? Is part of this economically driven, or is it just all about yield?
I don't think I'm going to cut any yield by doing that, because with the wide drop, what I've seen last year, it's on the row, and it's way more efficient than either broadcast or in the middle.
But you are going to spend less money on fertility, you think, because you're going to be putting it right where it needs to be.
On my nitrogen, I'm going to cut at least 15% by doing that.
Is there environmental pressure coming in Canada on nitrogen? Because I'm convinced it's coming to us. We're going to be regulated.
It's coming, but it's not here yet. But it's coming, and we feel some pressure. Yeah.
What about then this new tool that you got? Is it just fertility then that you're going to change up? Is there anything else you're going to do in 2025? Now, by the way, is that just on corn? I mean, it's the only fertility change you're making. It's because you got the wide drop, right?
Yeah, and I will have a little more acre of corn this year. So
you're going to plant more acres of corn.
Yeah.
What other changes besides fertility using the wide drop are you going to make in 2025?
I'm going to try some fertility and beans later. Fertility and beans with drone pass.
You're going to do later fertility application in soybeans. So wait a minute. We got a lot of different practices. How do you plant your soybeans? Are you on 20-inch rows? You're on 15-inch rows? You're on 30-inch
20-inch rows on my beans and 30 on my corn.
Okay. So what are you going to do? How are you going to do your fertility changes to the soybeans?
I will try to, I said it for a couple years now, but I want to try some potassium acetate later on V4, V5. I've never done it.
You're going to
but
put
this year,
potassium acetate on your soybeans when?
V4, R4, R5.
Okay.
Yep.
That's pretty late.
Yep.
Pretty late. And you're going to do that just, what's your application method?
I want to try some by drone, and I might also not doing some tramlines and beans, but I want to maybe put some space in between some specific rows in my planter to be able to go later in season and not so the tire don't push it down.
That's right. Okay. So, incidentally, we're talking about fertility. I want to remind you that one of our business partners here at XtremeAg is Nature's. Nature's in Sam's part of the world is called
Alpine.
Alpine. And you're going to use some of their products.
Yep. I use a lot of them.
Just, Nature's is not just on Sam's farm, it's on all of our XtremeAg farms, and Nature's uses their high-quality liquid fertilizers that are powered by Nature's BioK. You can target specific periods of influence throughout the growing season via precision placement techniques, just like Sam is doing. He's going to put a wide drop in exactly when the plant needs it to put the fertility out there when the plant needs it for a targeted period of influence to get the biggest bang for your buck on your fertility spend and get a big yield. Can mitigate plant stress, you can enhance crop yield, and most importantly, you can boost your farm's return on investment, and that's what it's all about, so you make money. Yep. All right, so we talked about fertility. You're going to do wide drop later in the season and you're going to do 2 passes with your corn. You're going to do a later pass, and your application, how you're going to do it on soybeans is not with a wide drop. You're going to do what?
So it's going to be foliar feeding.
Foliar feeding.
Yeah, right. A little bit more foliar feeding, and I'm planning to change my sprayer. I will go from 100-foot boom to 120 foot this year.
100-foot boom to what?
120.
Okay, so you're getting a larger boom. You're going to do foliar feeding. You got a new sprayer, or you just changed the boom?
It's going to be a new sprayer, but it's going to be used one.
Okay, so you're going to do a new sprayer, and you're going to have a wider boom. You're going to do foliar feeding. You're going to go later in the season of your soybeans. All right, so besides fertility.
I know I talk a lot about fertility, but it's my bigger expense of my farms. That's where we need to focus, I think.
So you're going to do more. You're going to do more changes with fertility than anything else on your farm.
Yep.
Got it. All right. Anything else you're going to change besides fertility at Coutu Farms?
We'll go with the season, what the season brings, but there's not a lot of changes coming in. Rather than that,
mostly fertility and timing of application.
Yep.
How did 2024 shape up for you? Did you make money?
Barely do some, but corn was pretty good. But we got it some bit by the flooding in August in my beans.
So your soybeans got hurt by August rains. Your corn did better than anticipated.
Yeah, because where the soybean fields were, I got more flooding there, and I got fields I got a 60-acre field that got completely flooded. Got 24 inches of rain of water for 4 days in it.
24 inches of rain in 4 days?
So we got, I think it's 9 inches, but this field got flooded with 24 inches.
Oh, okay. I mean, it actually had 24 inches of water standing.
Yep.
Yeah, so your soybeans were completely lost.
Yep.
Do you get insurance in Quebec?
Yes.
Do you have crop insurance in Canada?
Yep.
Okay, so you made out okay on that.
Yeah. It's going to cover, but you still lost some percent.
Right. How'd your corn do? You said it was better than you anticipated.
My corn was over 210 for this year on corn.
Okay. That a record for you?
Yeah. It's the best year ever on corn here.
Okay. You're going to plant more corn this year. What's your mix going to be in 2025?
I'm going to be 60% corn, 10% on wheat, and the rest 30% on beans.
Got it. All right. So when you look at 2025, it's mostly fertility changes. And you said some other things you might have to adjust on. Give me one thing that you're eyeballing, one thing that you're keeping your eye on that you think this is where I might have to make a change as early as spring. Chemical, product, seed?
See, I'm staying the same. I adjust my population last year, and I like what I sell. I lower my population a little bit, and so was it the year that the climate? Oh, but 24 was pretty good on corn. So
you adjusted population rates down in 2024, and you think that that's where you're going to stay this year, and that's mostly on soybeans readjusted down.
One of the change I want to do also is plant my beans really earlier. I was at the end of May, and I want to plant it end of April if I can. If not, when I'm gonna go with the seeder to plant my wheat, I want the bean planter in the field also.
So you're going to plant your soybeans in Canada in April.
At the end of April, if I can.
You're going to pull your soybean planter with a snowmobile? Is that how you're going to make that happen?
Yeah, with the trade groomer.
Yes.
No.
What will your soil temperature be before you want to go out there and do you need to be, you can use Celsius or Fahrenheit, how to do the conversion?
It's going to be, I think, 35, 40 Fahrenheit.
35 or 40 degree Fahrenheit, you're going to put soybeans in, and you're not concerned about them hanging around too long and rotting.
No, I'm putting a starter fertilizer with it, and that helps a lot. Small dose, real small dose, but it really helps.
So the guys talk about using something to alleviate stress. You do something for a stress mitigation?
Yep.
What?
So I'm putting Infero product. I got 4 or 5 product in my mix.
Okay. With the soybeans.
Yep.
And you're going to go earlier on your soybeans, and your population is going to stay lower. What's your population?
In my beans, I want to go lower.
Like what?
I was 150, 160.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I can drop to 110 to 120 if I go in like 3 weeks before you.
110 to 120.
Yep.
110 to 120,000. Even on your early stuff, you're not worried about losing a certain amount to the season.
Maybe, but we can lose a couple % and it still yield good in beans. It's going to branch out.
Got it. All right. So we're going earlier with soybeans. You're going to do later passes on fertility on both corn and soybeans. You got a new wide drop. You're going to definitely push the envelope on your corn, and you're going to do over the top foliar with your new sprayer with a wider boom on soybeans. I'm summarizing. Biggest lesson from 2024 that you either learned on your farm or from one of the XtremeAg guys. Biggest takeaway from 2024 that you think is going to help you be a better farmer in 2025 that somebody else can learn from.
Not putting all up front in fertility. Go adjust to the season.
Okay. So your biggest takeaway was don't put all your fertility up front loaded, space it out, and adjusting for the season.
Yep.
I think we'll leave it right there, my man. Sam of the North. We might be going to Quebec. The XtremeAg guys might be going to our friend Sam of the North's farm in August. We'll keep you posted. We have field days scheduled at all the other this side of the border American. By August, Canada might be the 51st state. That's the other thing that we need. Am I right, Sam?
We never know.
And they might have a prime minister up there by then, or they might just decide that they don't need one since they're going to be one of our states. Anyway, if that's the case, no matter what, we're going to keep you posted. We're going to be at all the guys' farms this year. Field days begin in May. That's right. May, we're going to be down at Chad Henderson's. His field day. Let me look at my calendar. It's on May 22nd. So our first field day of the season is going to be in North Alabama. That's right. In Madison, Alabama, up there where Chad's from. Always a great field day. Then we're going to have 2 in June. We're going to have several in August. So you'll want to check this out. We'll keep you posted about all of our field days. Mark your calendar. We'd love to see you there. And we'll let you know if we're going up to state number 51, or as you call it, Canada, with our friend Sam. Sam, thanks for being here, my friend.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Till next time, I'm Damian Mason with XtremeAg's Cutting the Curve.
Bye.
That's a wrap for this episode of Cutting the Curve. Make sure to check out XtremeAg.farm for more great content to help you squeeze more profit out of your farming operation.